Welcome to the Emerging Lawyer series at the Coffee Corner Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum and tech partner Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is the legal architect of IPO. We have with us Abhinav Kumar, partner at Talwar Thakore and Associates. With over 16 years of experience across IPOs, QIPs, rights issues, and major secondary trades, Abhinav's legal journey is a masterclass in consistency and depth. Recognized by Legal Era, IBLG, Chambers and Partners, and IFLR 1000, he brings not just legal expertise but clarity of thought and leadership to the table. From his early days at NUJS to holding pivotal roles at Cyril Amarchand, Abhinav shares the lessons, stories, and turning points that have defined his journey. So, welcome Abhinav to today's coffee conversation.
Thank you, Lan. Thanks a lot for having me. And as I was saying, you're quite a celebrity yourself. So thanks for taking out time. Looking forward.
Yeah. So let me explain you the flow. It is divided into three rounds: professional journey round, personal journey round, and a surprise, the rapid fire round, for which you have to be witty, fun, and quick. And here's an interesting book which will be autographed and sent to you, but you have to first win it.
Sure.
I know you do it. Okay. So, friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation and a legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. We help law firms, corporate legal, startup SMEs with world-class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So, my first question, Abhinav, you have worked across landmark IPOs and complex market deals. What first drew you to this niche area of law?
So this is going to be a slightly longish answer, Lan, which is I may have to just travel back a bit in terms of where I come from, and maybe this will cover some of my personal questions also that you're going to ask. So back in my school time, this I was fairly useless as a student. I was never focused. I think my parents were super worried about me in terms of what am I going to do in life. In fact, there was one story where, and I used to pass on trial and conditionally pass was very common for me. But somehow magically, I never flunked. And there was a situation where my dad was going to collect my result, and I was quite sure I was going to flunk. And I was conditionally passed. And this is class 8th, 9th, so it's not some early stage, closer to the board. And my class teacher told him that, listen, he has passed, but there is a condition. The next class, if he does not do well in the first semester, then he will be sent back. You will not believe my dad was very unhappy while coming back. He thought that, and then I was wondering, why is he so upset about this? This is a good news that I have now moved to the next class. And his concern was that, I don't know, if now you go to the next class, you will spend your first semester and then you will again flunk. Then you would have wasted your 6 months and a year. So you would have gone back. So you would have wasted 18 months. So that is the level of confidence they had in me. And around board time is when they lost interest. They thought that this guy is never going to do anything. So you do whatever you want. And they stopped putting any pressure on me. And that's when it just clicked that I want to do commerce. And I didn't know jack about commerce. I did commerce. Nobody said anything. They said, okay, I will support you. Just go ahead, as if you're going to do anything great. And I topped my +2 in the entire school. That was because I just got to do what I wanted to do. There was no real research involved, but I just got to do which I liked. And laws, the way law came as a profession for me, or the law school, that was also barely any research. My brother one day told me that there is this exam, this competitive exam, and this college gives 100% placement. You will not believe that I prepared for this without knowing that was a law entrance exam. It was an entrance exam which gave 100% placement. That's how NUJS Calcutta happened. And then I was doing I had an elective called securities law. I think any teacher, anyone who attended the class would never have selected securities law or capital markets ever. It was that bad. And that is one of the problems in law school, which we'll discuss later. But finally, just long story short, I joined CAM, AMSS then, campus placement, and I started working with general corporate, and capital markets had picked up then. So there was limited work in general corporate. So I started working with capital markets. That was a pure coincidence, and I liked it. There were many things which sort of attracted me to capital markets. I had already done general corporate, project financing, and litigation for a short period, 3 months each. So I had a sense of what was involved in other practice areas. When I came here, the one big change which happened, Lan, is that in capital markets, you got responsibility from day one, client interaction from day one. You were actually solving problems as a fresher, and the client on the other side is trusting you. So you got that level of responsibility, independence, and obviously full credit to the team with whom I was working. And you got to solve problems. And but the most important element was the fact that you just could not be a lawyer who knows law only. Every time there had to be a combination of a commercial aspect plus a legal aspect, and that holds true even today. This combination, I'm pretty sure it's there in general corporate and financing, but somehow for me, this combination worked out supremely well. I really liked it today. Also, when I answer questions from my clients, my answers, hopefully, that's what I at least I try to do, is not purely legal, but also understand where they're coming from and try to give a solution which is going to practically work for them within the bounds of law. This may not happen with other practice areas, but here we do this on a daily basis, and we operate at every level of the client. Again, that's different from other practice areas because there you may be dealing with only CFO. Here we are or MD. Here we are dealing with MD, CFO, company secretary, and their team till the last level and solving their problems. So that level of exposure, that level of understanding of business of the company, you may not get in other practice areas. So that's one of the reasons why this became my long-term practice.
Wow, beautiful. So, Abhinav, in high stakes transactions, how do you personally navigate pressure and decision making? As you beautifully said here, from top to bottom, you're dealing with the different stakeholders. So, as it's IPOs are high stakes and time bound.
Yeah.
So, one of my question will be pressure. The second question will be the preparation part.
Yeah. So for one, for at least what I try to do is that for me, every deal is a high stake deal because someone is trusting us with their, and IPO is a journey, right? So it's no matter whether it's a big company or a small company or a mid market company, this is for them, this is the biggest milestone, and depending on where they are in the journey. And so therefore for us, each and every deal is as important. Though what does happen in a more high stake transactions is that the level of questions which we face, the kind of inputs that they need, the kind of problems you're solving are a lot more complex. And the answers also, and one of the bigger challenges I feel is that in a slightly mid-market clients, you may have your way where you say that this is how it's done. In a more high-stake transactions, they will just not accept because you are saying it. You are not God sent, and therefore you may have to think little more, provide customize the solution a little more, and most importantly, you are managing egos. So the messaging, it's not, and this practice, I think, for that matter, most of the practice that law firms have, it's not only about providing a good solution, but how do you package it? Because same solution when it's not packaged well may sound like something which is not doable, but if you have packaged it which they can relate to, then that they can understand a lot better. So in a high stake transaction, these become a little more important. And why I'm getting into all of this is because that also helps us in controlling the level of pressure that the team goes through, because same work can take 2x or 3x time more, and still not yield the same result. as opposed to if you have a right method in place. And that can come only line but by just having that experience of doing high pressure, high stake transactions over a long period of time. Then you know what kind of responses and what kind of solutions going to work for the clients. And every client deserves their own solution. There is no tailor-made ready solution for anyone to offer.
Wow. So, Abhinav, has the role of capital markets lawyer changed post-pandemic with the rise of tech-driven IPOs and digital-first companies?
Um, so a couple of things which happened, Lan, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. The big difference which has happened, which has taken place in the capital markets, is one, just the volume of work that has increased, and because there was a lot of appetite, no transactions happened during COVID times. And then the question that you asked is that new age tech companies uh, started entering the market. They never had the belief that Indian market will understand the business. That's the reason why today you see flipping structures where they are bringing it back to India, because most of them thought that they are going to IPO in US, Singapore, Hong Kong, etc. Today they are bringing back because Indian market and investors understand. And also not only that, but the advisors, intermediaries, we all understand their business a little better. Maybe in 21, none of us had that kind of experience, but today we think we are a little better equipped. So when they started doing IPOs, I don't think any of us were prepared to advise them. I think we were at a very inferior level. We were used to cookie cutter answers, and they started challenging all concepts. And not that they wanted to do something which was not allowed or not permitted under law. They just wanted to, like the way they had set up a business to solve problems, provide convenience, they also wanted that story to be told. And everyone should understand that how they have even a capital structure, which is a slightly drab subject for anyone. They wanted to challenge that as well. That why are you thinking about this? Why should there be a cookie cutter bonus split? Why can't there be some other variations to this which is permitted? So we all have to think a lot more. I think because of these companies and founders and the kind of setups that they have all created, we have become better lawyers, better thinkers in last 3-4 years than what we were before that. We feel that today we provide a better solution than what we provided in 2019. And the ability to say yes has improved significantly compared to ability to say no. That has gone down drastically. So I think that it has been a great change for all of us at capital markets when they started accessing markets, and we are really looking forward to many more of these companies coming and doing IPOs and challenging all those established trends that we all were very comfortable with.
Wow. Thank you for leading me to my next question. You said about storytelling. So, how important is storytelling in for this tech-driven and digital-first companies? As a lawyer and the different analyst, uh, finance, banks, and everyone. So, how do you piece a story, making it presentable for and one question is presentable and meeting regulatory compliances also.
Okay, so okay, this is a little more difficult one, but let me try to answer. Uh, so, and sort of it goes back to the point we discussed in the earlier question. Um, their stories were not all stories were unique, but uh, and maybe all these founders were always there. Today we are talking about new age tech companies, but let's talk about those founders, promoters who have always been there, traditional, conventional sectors that and they are as important. They worked harder, or they worked really hard, if not harder. So those promoters were still there creating great companies. So not that the storytelling became more important because new age tech companies came through, but since most of them had innovation as the key component of each and every business, since they had tech as part of their business, they all started from that particular niche. So therefore, it became more important how they bring innovation, tech, and their story together. Also, there was a lot more demand of how one new age tech player looks different from another new age tech player, maybe, and so that nobody wanted to know that another tech player is accessing the market. And initially, we all struggled. I'll be honest on that. Mm, we all sort of resisted um, giving into those stories, those flexibilities that they all wanted. But we also saw their passion in terms of how they wanted to tell their story. And I must compliment SEBI, which is our regulator for this capital markets. Initially, they would have also seen that the businesses were difficult to understand. Some of the things that we were writing, was that even permitted? But they have also been very supportive. They have also learned and changed with times. Uh, Maybe some mischiefs have been there that nobody can deny, but I think overall that story writing has become critical for these founders and how the investors want to see. Also, one thing which changed with them, which was maybe not so prominent before COVID, everyone saw prospectus that you write for IPOs as that 500-page document that nobody reads. But this actually the first time when we were doing when the first tech IPO was happening, they were quite upset about the fact that we are making so much effort and nobody's reading it. It's not because it's a 500-page document. Maybe because the way you guys are writing, it's not interesting enough. We want people to know about us. We have worked really hard to create this together, and these are all young entrepreneurs, right? So they have done this work for a long time. That energy, the zeal is there to that with which they have created these companies. So all those stories finally started fitting in. Of course, there are now other discussions on KPIs, valuations, etc. But just on the story point, it has been an exciting phase for all of us. Obviously, there is a kind of slowdown on the tech side, but we all are hoping that because of these reasons, they do come back the way they had with full bang, that way it happened in the past.
Wow. So, Abhinav, what's the most memorable deal or moment in your career and what made it stand out?
So, deals, sorry, I will have to go back to that boring answer that all deals are important. So, therefore, I will not even take the name of the deal because all deals are
Yeah.
important.
No. We just want the merits of the case. So we
Yeah,
know
so
450
I
episode, we know what to be what to be covered, which is permissible.
yeah, no, and not about not disclosing them. I genuinely don't think that for me one deal is more important than the other. That is one of the reasons why I am here. That I should be able to provide the same level of service that I provide to X client versus the Y client. But in terms of the career, I can surely choose the year when or the time when I felt that was a turning point was when I became a partner in 2017 at CAM. It is a big moment for any of us when we become a partner, and we don't appreciate that when you become a partner. You appreciate that 5 years down the line that this is how you have changed in these 5 years compared to let's say 8 years or 9 years before you became a partner. So the growth that you see in yourself, the way you change as a person, and lot more control. So in fact, if anyone who has changed in those 5, 7, 10 years as a partner, they are themselves to be blamed if they have not turned out to be a good person, because there is a lot more control on yourself, lot more control on the way you deal with people. And if you have not done well, but yeah, it's a big change. And I would always be thankful to Sri Lamachand for trusting me with that responsibility and giving me right opportunities during that 7, 8 years that I was there with Sri Lamachand after becoming a partner. So yeah, that was surely one of the big turning points for me.
Wow. So, Abhinav, how do you see the integration of AI and legal tech transforming? How do we approach capital markets in the next 5 to 10 years?
First, let me tell you that we are super excited about it. And at the same time, supremely insecure because we don't want to get left behind. And that I'm not talking about this practice only, but as a legal tech, I think all the law firms, partners, all of us are thinking, are we doing enough with this? Are we training our AIs enough? Are we training our associates enough? to use AIs as efficiently as possible. So I think it's a major transition phase for legal industry right now. I think quite a few of us have invested in this. Like in back in Silamachand, we were using Kira, Litra Compared, which has been developed by yourselves, and a wonderful software. So there were a couple of very good tech which had come through, but that was also at the initial stage. Litra is continues to be very useful. Kira was something that I think we did not use too well. It could have come through as one of the great tools, but that's where I said that how well are we training our associates? How prepared are we to use these as well as possible? I think there we are lacking quite a bit. But what is great to see is that we all are accepting many other tech which is coming for almost every day. Harvey, etc. All of I think that's always in news. We are doing this on pilot basis. The concern remains that we do not want to compromise on client confidentiality. And every tech provider on the street has an answer that don't worry about this. But more we get into this, more we have questions. So we continue to be concerned about this. But coming back to the tech, I think we'll solve it. That's in the process. I don't think there is a choice for any of us not to solve it. So clients will also come around. I think we need to just have right policies in place. But for capital markets specifically, Lan, this is going to be a game changer because especially on the, so there are two parts. One is research, and the other one is just the documentation, that the volume of documentation we have, the number of associate hours that we spend on this, all of this can be made super efficient.
Yes.
And for that, we just need the right AI. And right AI, when I mean right AI team who are ready to learn with us, who are there to understand our problems, our ideas. They supplement with their ideas, and then they put the right tech in place so that our lives get much easier, and therefore the clients' lives get much easier. I think we can reduce, and we have done a lot of maths on this, a lot of work on in this in Silama and at least there. And and just to give you a sense, it's a little boring stats, but in an on IPO, a law firm spends on an average 2,200 to 2,600 to 2,700 hours. That's the average number of hours as a company counsel you spend on an IPO in a normal three counsel IPO. If you use the tech the right way, you can bring this down to 1,600 to 1,700, even less. But that's a and we have broken this down into different components. Where can we save time? Obviously it can't be only one law firm which is using tech. I'm assuming everyone together are using at different levels. If that can be done, you can reduce the time. And therefore, what is the larger implication of this is that when we are today we are telling our clients that we are going to take 3 to 4 months to file a DRHP. This can come down to 2 months or 1.5 months because you are doing so much of work. Of course, this is going to take time. This is a high risk, high stake practice area. So we cannot take any risk as far as diligence is concerned, the way we are doing research. So this is going to take a year or two. But I'm very confident that we all will work together to make this a far more efficient, far better practice, which is going to do wonders in terms of just meeting clients' timelines and expectations. So it's a legal tech is absolutely one thing that we are super excited about.
I appreciate it. So, Abhinav, you believe in giving back to society. As a guest faculty at Government Law College, what is your advice to students hoping to build a strong footing in capital markets law?
So after becoming partner in 2017, which I said that was the major turning point for me, one of the things which happened, which also something I really enjoy, is I started teaching at GLC as a guest faculty. And Government Law College has this excellent program called Securities Law course. It's a 1 year course. And Sri Lamachand used to be one of the firms who used to anchor this for capital markets. Securities law, we used to cover quite a few classes there. And the beauty of that course was, Lan, that this one uh, did not have students only. In fact, the majority of the crowd was professionals who came from SEBI, who came from RBI on the regulatory side. Then there will be tax authorities. Then there will be corporates who will send their company secretaries, their legal team. Sometimes some of the business CFOs used to come and participate in this, and we used to have and just talking to them and teaching them. We tried to teach them, but they obviously knew quite a bit. But very enjoyable conversations, and that is something that I intend to start again here with different law schools and law colleges. But that's one thing that that's one way I would want to give it back. Then I judge moot courts, etc. But that these are the small things in which we try to contribute to the society at large. But I'm sure there are many more ways. We constantly keep on looking for the ways through you and others that how can we do more, because the fulfillment that we need can't come only from the work that we do. That's it has to be some contribution that we have to give it back to society.
Very true. So, Abhinav, you received several recognition and awards. Do these validations shift your professional mindset or expectations?
Not really. Um, it's good to be recognized. So and difficult to remain humble, but I think it's just for anyone who gets any kind of recognition. I think the point is that you are doing something right. That's why possibly people are recognizing you. So it encourages you to move in that direction. And so we always look forward to these recognitions at any point of time. But this is just a journey, right? So we all are. I think the real joy that we get is everyone who are we are working with our colleagues and our clients. They grow with us, and we could see them learning every day. With them, we learn. That's the maximum we can expect from our day-to-day lives. But yeah, recognition is always important for all of us.
So, Abhinav, after over a decade at Cyril Amarchand, what inspired your move to Talwar Thakore and Associates, and how different is your approach today?
So going back to the first question that you had asked, and I had diverted so to some different topics altogether. But one of the points was that through campus placement from NUJS, I had gotten through Amachand Mangaldas, AMSS then, and I owe everything to that firm. And the kind of mentoring, the kind of quality lawyers that they have, and the vision that Mr. Shroff has, uh, I don't think that it is comparable at all. No matter where I am, I will always say this. And so, starting there, uh, things worked out as per the plan. In fact, better. I could not have expected or asked for more than what I got from there. Mentors like Yash, just great people, Santosh. They're all great people to work with, brilliant minds. I think the problem, it was not so much of a problem. I was now getting to 40, and in our smaller group of friends, we kept on discussing that what's next? What is going to keep you excited? And when people used to ask me, I said, yeah, I'm comfortable. Things have worked out much better than I could have expected. So why should I ask for more? And some of these conversations started veering about why don't we take some risk? When are we going to take any risk? You're already 40. You have another 2, 3 years where you can put in that work, or say 5 years at best. And if you don't do it now, then you are going to stay. Maybe it's not such a bad option because things were just working out so well. But then, yeah, the time was just passing by. Maybe I would have missed the train. So I took the plunge that okay, someday I have to take that risk. Let's take this risk now. And now, in the hindsight, I don't think it was such a risk. It was, and just to go back to why TT&A, maybe that is a related question. And TT&A is, oh, I knew quite a bit about this firm. Most importantly, they looked and felt very different from CAM and other large law firms. And I mean everything in terms of how they approach clients, how they think about clients, how they think about associates, work culture. Everything is significantly different. And TTA was one of the very few prominent firms who did not have an established equity capital markets, but they had a very strong debt capital markets. We had very strong banking, general corporate. So all complementary practices were doing well, but equity capital markets was not there. And I wanted to create something of my own, try to test myself that can I set up something. And I was just worried that I'm getting really late to that journey. So that's why I thought this is the best place to start with. And by God's grace, things have worked out really well. So I'm glad that I took that risk. Um, Maybe I would have stayed there and things would have been as good. Who knows? But it's always worth trying.
Yes, yes. Uh, New opportunities, uh, new team, new thinking, uh, new energies, so many
Yeah.
things.
So many things, and I'm so glad that some of the people trusted me who I really wanted them to come with me and start this together. So we started like a family, and we are slowly growing. So all of that joy possibly was there, but this is just a different experience. So, and some of the clients that I really wanted to work with, maybe there I could not work that regularly with them. Here there is a lot more liberty to decide that. So yeah, so then every day becomes a little joyful to come to office and talk to clients and figure out solutions.
Wow. Okay. So, Abhinav, how has the leadership style evolved over the years?
Uh, but I think I have never seen myself as a leader, so it's a very difficult question to answer. I just think I learn from people, and for me, the most important member in any team, including my team, is the fresher, because he can teach me most because he is coming from a absolutely blank state. He comes with those ideas which we haven't thought of. Again, cookie cutter terms. Sometimes we go back to those solutions. So I my let's not call it leadership style, but the way I like working is that we all think, discuss, and the best idea in the room, trust me, doesn't come from me ever. But maybe I could put three great ideas together and say that okay, this is how we can put it together, which are going back to packaging. So maybe I do packaging slightly better than others, which they will learn and they'll do much better than me, I guess. But just working together as a team is uh, is the key part. uh, Mentoring is the second part. Again, it's not leadership, it's just mentoring, that whatever I have learned, when I say giving back to society, I want to give it back to that experience that I have got, that I should be sharing with my colleagues who work with me. So that's how we do it. And last is that everyone is and no client I have thought till date is a client. If I like working with someone, then we actually get along. And they will become friends, and we will try to solve problems together. This is how we do it, and that's why and I enjoy this practice so much. So all the intermediaries like banks and the corporate clients, etc., partners in the firm, associates in the firm, all of us work together because now they have become friends. So now that's what I look forward to. But again, nothing, I don't think I'm a leader in any way. It's just that I like working together cohesively.
Wow. So, my last question for your professional journey round: what advice would you give to young lawyers entering the capital markets?
I think there are many misconceptions about this practice. And this we used to, I used to speak about even at GLC, those classes, and some of the interns. Look, this somehow it's seen that this practice is a volume, labor intensive practice. I think every practice is that. It uh, but there is a very sharp learning curve, and the kind of exposure that a couple of points that we discussed in the beginning of this session, the kind of responsibility you get right from the beginning, client exposure, the way you're helping at each level, it doesn't happen with other practice. It's volume because first 2 years or 3 years, you have to get your diligence level to that level that you can then move to client advisory full time and drafting responsibilities. So it's a very well sketched out how any career growth will happen. I think that's the best part here. We are very clear how someone grows here, and it has worked out well. Volume goes down over a period of time, and the work responsibility increases. So I don't think any other practice gives you this level of confidence and responsibility right from the beginning. And people should not get too affected by the fact that there is so much of work. And this is a cyclical practice. So if it's a 2 year of busy market, then there is a 1 year of fairly slow market. So no matter what we do, this is always going to happen. It's always going to balance out. This is the same thing which happens in general corporate or financing or banking. So capital markets is also one of those practices. And you should just ride the wave when there is a good market, learn as much as you can, clean as much as you can, then you enjoy your time in a slow period.
Oh, beautiful. So let's go next round and understand Abhinav as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
So some of this we discussed in the beginning.
Yes.
So I have a sibling. My brother he's an elder brother. He works with McKinsey, stays in Delhi. Um, my my mother was a is a homemaker. My father used to work with insurance company, Oriental Insurance, and that's from where he has retired. Now both of them are at Patna. They are now very soon moving to Delhi because of health reasons. Now they can't stay there, so they are moving to another flat in Delhi, which is close to my brother's place. Back then, I think quite a bit we have got. Brother has been a serious inspiration for me. He has always been there for me, and the age gap between us is 1.5 years. So we are more like friends than brothers. We can always speak about anything and everything. He has always been there to guide me. So I'm just blessed to have someone like him. And then my wife, we both of us are from the same college, obviously lawyers, and we never spoke in college for some reason, being in the same batch. But then we started working in AMSs together. She has been doing financing. I was doing capital markets in a couple of years, and we got married in 2013. So she was with CAM, and she left CAM 2 years back and joined the IFC, International Finance Corporation. So that's where she's working now. And yeah, that's we have a daughter, 4.5 year old, and now she's in LKG, junior KG is what it's called. So yeah, it's fairly well settled, and that's why. So just going back to the risk that was to be taken, it had to be taken now because
Yeah.
things were just falling in place, and
Yes.
thankfully, my wife Ruchira just said that if you want to take that risk now. I'm okay to support you. If you get no work, you go out of job. That's also okay because for 3 4 years I can look after both of you. That was the confidence basis which we did all of this. So yeah, I
Yeah.
will always be thankful to her for
Yeah.
showing that confidence that will always have my back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how this all worked out.
So she's the biggest cheerleader.
Absolutely, and no doubt. So
I
my
had the
brother and
question, but you gave the answer. So I'm not asking you the question who is your biggest cheerleader. Impressive. That's hats off to her. Okay. Uh, you spent considerable years in Mumbai. Uh, do you miss Patna and what do you miss from Patna?
have you been to Patna ever?
No, you'll have to take me.
100%. So it's a sleepy town. Nothing much moves. So and there is an impression, misconception, I must say, is it's not a safe city. It is a safe city. People are too lazy to do anything. So don't worry about crime, etc. It has gotten much better now. It maybe that was true, but that was true with Mumbai as well. There was underworld at some point of
Yeah.
time. So that
Mm.
was true with Patna as well. But now it's much better. But it's a sleepy town. Not much happens. Uh, there is no career even now, which is very sad. We all would want to go back to our hometowns, I guess, at some point of time. It is saddening that the opportunities have not come up, but things are looking up now. We are hoping some investments are coming through. At some stage, I would want to surely go back if life permits. It will be a great experience. And someday I hope that Patna bashing, Delhi bashing, all of that comes. We can all fight back together. But today, I guess there is not so much to defend, unfortunately, other than just the people that we all come out, we do our bit. But the place does not give us enough reasons to fight back.
Okay. So, Abhinav, are there any personal habits or routines you swear by for staying grounded and focused?
I just think that we should just be honest to our work. That is it. And every time, and the problem line, I think, and I would want your views also on this, but this, I think we don't know the meaning or we don't attach enough importance to honesty. Are we being honest to our work? Are we being honest to our colleagues, juniors, associates? And maybe most of us will fail. Today, did I do my work honestly through the day? Maybe not. And answer is not that you sit and work hard all day. It's about just whenever you're working, are you being honest to yourself? And that is what the fulfilling day is. I'm not saying I'm honest with my work every day, but I strive to do that. And this can encompass commitment, excellence, and all of that. I think is a component till you're honest. We all have certain abilities that we should fully exploit, and that can be done through honesty. You don't need to do anything more. It and you can and unfortunately there is some impression that we have to there has to be face time in office. You need to stay back in office till 2 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock at night. Then you are really working hard. Otherwise, you're leaving at 7 o'clock. That means that you don't have enough work or you are a work shirker. But I just think that if everyone is just testing on that basis, it doesn't matter. You can work from home 5 days and things will be fine. We don't have to impose rules like you have to come to office. Maybe to some extent you have to interact. That's important to get to know your colleagues, which we discussed like Zoom versus in person, etc. But otherwise, it's all about being honest about you, and people will be fine. It's not we just take ourselves too seriously.
So, Abhinav, when not immersed in deals and filings, how do you like to unwind or spend your weekends?
I really wish I had a great answer. Like I love running or I love playing tennis. I do all of this, but I don't love any of these. We actually, my wife and I just want to watch TV. This is what we want to do. There is just too much of content. OTT has spoiled us
Yes.
for choice. I don't think even if I watch TV all 7 days, then also I will be able to cover the content that I want to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that is our way to watch OTA together and then meeting friends. Um, there are quite a few very good, close college friends from NUJS who are here. And then my school friends are in Delhi who also come over quite often. So these are the two ways in which we try to have some relaxing time. But TV is the mainstay for us.
So, so in TV, you watch TV serials or OTT on Netflix or Amazon, and which is your current series you're watching?
So I watch OTT anything and everything, whatever is on offer. We have subscribed to everything, whatever comes, we will watch. There are some recommendations which come up on a Friday. We follow that religiously. Maybe there are some weekends where we have work, then we may not be able to. Last I watched was White Lotus season 3, absolutely stunning TV series, and that's on Hotstar, so great to watch. So but again, the content is so much that it'll be difficult for me to tell you my top 5 also because there are just I may have top 20, top 30. That's the number of TV series that we watch. But yeah, mostly it's Netflix, same old Amazon, Netflix, Hotstar, earlier used to be Geo, which are now all merged. Sony Live has great content, surprisingly. People ignore that, but they have great Hindi content.
Oh, impressive. Impressive. Okay. Abhinav, if your friends had to describe you in 3 words, what would it be?
I'm going to give you a very boring answer, Lan. But and this is the CAM C's, three C's that they do, and I don't know how and why I just follow it because it was announced by Mr. Shroff quite a few years back, and he keeps on repeating it, and I don't know how he got this so right. It was character, competence, commitment, amazing. This is how I don't know whether I do all three of these, but I would want to be known through these three C's.
Wow. So, what are your goals for 2025 personally and professionally?
Uh, I want to do more on health front for sure.
Mm.
I think that's the general goal for everyone. At this age, you need to do a lot more. I would want to do little more training, mentoring for people who work with me. I don't think I do that enough. And more spending time with my friends. And friends, I mean both clients and otherwise. I don't think I do that enough. Sometimes I get too involved in execution, deals after deals. I would want to spend more time with people, get to know. This is like this conversation that you and I are having. This is a very enjoyable conversation. But I love doing this, but I then that 6 9 months being here, I wanted to maybe I was just putting too much of pressure on myself. But slowly things will also settle here the way I want. And then the next year, I'm hoping to do things that I used to do at camp where we're spending a little more time, a little more balanced life simply.
Wow. So, my last one is a googly one. Describe Abhinav in one line.
That same character component, same three C's. This is how I want to be known to everyone.
A
There
lawyer's
is
answer. A lawyer's answer. Friend भी वो बोल रहे हूँ मैं भी वो बोल रहा हूँ Nice. Okay, let's have some fun. The rapid fire round. Your go-to comfort food.
uh, chicken lollipop or chili
Wow.
chicken, both.
Wow. Early morning call or late night brainstorming.
I'm on calls all the time. So early morning, I just do calls.
Okay. IPO or FPO.
IPO, FPO, nobody does. Last one I did was Vodafone, but I think that happened after 5 years. Nobody does FPOs, it's IPOs.
Okay. Your favorite color.
Yellow.
Best piece of advice received.
Uh, you need to take yourself less seriously.
Wow. Your dream travel place.
We are going to Paris, so July. I'm hoping that to be, and that's a family trip. So we are
Wow.
covering Amsterdam and Paris, um, and I'm just really looking forward to that. So let's see how that goes.
Wow. Favorite cuisine from Patna.
So they have great mutton. So we all know how to make mutton. It's because in Patna you get the best mutton in the country. So the day you and I go together, we'll have Champaran mutton. People will give you
Wow.
litti chokha and all, but that's just because it sounds like Bihari. But mutton preparation, no other state in this country comes close to Bihar.
I'm learning this about Patna and Bihar. Wow. Okay. Tea or coffee while drafting?
Coffee.
Yeah, in the coffee show.
Yes.
So you did well, and here's a book which will
Thank
autograph
you.
and send to you. So, friends,
This
it was a lovely conversation having with Abhinav, and we wish him the best for his journey. We'll be going to Paris and Amsterdam. So, have fun with family. Yes, family time is also very important. So, all those young lawyers who want to enter this high action world of IPOs, capital markets, watch the episode where Abhinav will take you. Uh, what capital markets is all about. It's all about preparations, so many things, managing different stakeholders from the top to the bottom. He has beautifully explained. So this is what 450 coffee speakers bring to the table. Subscribe, get inspired, and if you want to be featured like Abhinav, visit our LinkedIn page or connect with the coffee speakers and tell them your story so they can refer you, recommend you, and to have coffee conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Greatly enjoyed.
Yeah.